Today I want to finish off the last few items on this excavator that need repairing. Mainly being with this front cylinder here that's leaking, and we've got a little bit of slop down the bottom here, mainly being in our side links here. So as you just saw, we've got quite a bit of wear in our side links here. Now these aren't a wearing part. As you can see over here, we've got a boss that's mounted to our side links with a bolt in it, and that bolt's actually loose. So then that allows the pin to move as you're using the machine over a long period of time. That ends up wearing out the bosses in our side links like it's done here. So we'll have to probably pull them off, weld them back up, machine them back to size. No doubt the pins, probably in both pins are going to be worn from just sheer rubbing all that time. I'd probably we'll see if we have to replace the bushing in the bottom of our cylinder there and in the H-link. And I also want to check our pins and bushings in the bottom here. Just do these sort of 4 points of pivot here, because these see the most action and they're in the dirt and all that. So let's drop the bucket off and we'll start pulling it down. It's actually not as much wear. Oh, there is a bit of wear in it. That side there is. So it's going to need a new pin there. Why isn't that coming off? A hole in our pin's burnt over, so we'll just have to get the grinder and grind that so we can pull it out. Better. Oh. That's got a good 1.5 mil wear in the end of that pin. Even through the guts of that pin's all worn. You can see all the lines in it. That's how worn it is. So it's definitely due for a pin. See that bushing feels fine. That pin's not worn in the center. It's got to have a little bit of play because you've got to allow for the grease to go in there. So Really, I could probably get away with leaving those bushes, I reckon. We'll have to wait and see once I machine up some pins. Oh, look at that. That cylinder shouldn't be able to do that. The seals are bugging in there. That's pretty good down there. You can't complain with that. There's a little bit in the bottom of this H-link here, but you'll probably find again it's going to be the pin. I mean, you could probably walk around the whole machine and there'd be a little bit of play in everything, but with an old digger, how far do you go? So I went ahead and just cleaned everything up. You can see on one of our side links is bent, so I'll have to stick that in the press. But mainly these holes are pretty flogged out. So now we can work out which one's bent. We'll straighten it in the press. Then we can cut off these old bosses. We'll weld them together, and then we'll just machine them out back to good metal, weld them up, and then we'll just finish machining them to size. Then I'll just get some new pin material, and this pin's easy because it's not greasable, but this one is greasable, so that'll be a bit more mucking around, but still that's fine. And that should fix most of our slop. And then we can, I took the cylinder guard off, and you can see the seals must be buggered inside, so we'll pull this cylinder out, and then I also want to do that blade cylinder as well. And I do want to check that one up the top, because that one looks like it's weeping, and if it's the same as this one, I'll just do them while it's here. Well, I just got done machining up all our new bosses. With the bosses on the side that doesn't have the bolt, I put a bit of a shoulder on it, just so it has a bit more material to wear, so hopefully it lasts a bit longer with sort of changing the design like that. But I'm about to drag out the oxy. We'll heat shrink those ones in and weld them in. I've still got to set these up in the mill and just drill the hole in them for our pin. And then once we heat shrink these in, then we can start machining up our 2 new pins and we can put it all back together. Didn't have a hammer on me. Beautiful. I've got a hammer this time. That could have been disastrous. Well, that didn't go exactly to plan. I guess that's what I get for not having a proper bench. It is on the list, but unfortunately it's not done yet. That's why I had to use these cypress blocks. Cypress smoulders, it doesn't burn, as you can see from that, so that's why I grabbed those. But these are a 0.1 interference fit, so if I had a proper bench, that would have just donked in like that. Lucky I had the hammer there, but I did put it in on a little bit of an angle, so it grabbed the side, which is a bit of a pucker moment. Now that's how it should have gone. Perfect. So this is the first pin we're going to make, and the pin is 37.8 mil diameter, and the material I have is 38.1. So we've got barely any material to pull off it. So we cannot go undersized. We're going to have to be real light on our passes. And yeah, it should be quite quick to make these. I will put a machine a step in the pin, so when we weld on this thrust washer here, it's got somewhere to seat. That way we know it's straight and true to the pin. Well, that fits on. that was easy. I don't really like doing that, but sometimes you got no choice. Oh, as if it's still that tight. There it goes. Now that it's loose, we should be able to pull the pin out. Judging by the rust on that pin, I did grease it, but I better check that grease nipple. Let's just get rid of this oil. This cylinder's the same. It's quite, you shouldn't be able to do that. That should be really firm. You'd almost need to put a bar in there to try and turn it. So I really hope the other cylinders aren't like that. Oh, look at that. It doesn't help that they put Loctite in there, but these are also a locking nut. It's not a Nylox, they have these little steel flanges there. So you got to overcome that. Once you can pretty much overcome that like we did, it'll come loose. I will put a bit of Loctite back on these, because I've had it before where you undo cylinders where they haven't used Loctite, and this nut's loose, so that piston's going to hammer the end of the rod out. Just quickly get this piston apart. Well, I'm going to give everything a good clean up, head over to Metric Seals and get everything we need. So in here, we've got a little locking plate. So we fold this tab down into the gland, and then back here, we fold it up into the notch of the barrel. I mean, you don't have to go crazy with it, but just hit it down enough that it's going to stop it from spinning. Just something like that will be fine. Got a double lip there on the end of this rod, which makes it hard. That looks a lot better than it did before. This was pretty much the bulk of the slop on the machine, and for 5,500 hours, it's overall pretty tight. We still do have a little bit of play in these bottom pins here, and a couple of bushings in this cylinder and H-link, but they're not bad enough yet that I need to replace them. And now that we've got the 2 cylinders repacked, this machine is pretty much leak free. I did check over that top cylinder and it's not leaking, which is good. But overall, this was a pretty fun project to do. I've never actually shrunk fit material before. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but overall, I think I didn't do too bad. It took me about half a day to do the first boss, and then from there out, it was about an hour or so each. But overall, this machine is mechanically sound now. It's ready to be put back to work. But one of the last things I want to do is work out what sort of a thumb I want to put on here. Now, ideally, I'd like a hydraulic thumb, but with the design of this hitch, I can't put a hydraulic thumb on because these bushings down here, well, these bosses aren't a wearing part. So if I was to pull the pin out, it would flog out this material really quick. You can see how the pin has this recessed flange here to stop the pin from turning. So I could either swap out this hitch for one that has hardened bushings in there, or I pull this hitch off, set it up in the milling machine, mill it out to size, and then slide in hardened bushings off another machine or off a different model of machine that will bang in there. Or I just settle for a manual thumb, which is probably what it had on it once in its life. Or judging by how low that is, it could have been manual grabs or something. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. And then lastly, once my truck gets going, I want to take this over to my mate's joint and he's going to sandblast the machine and paint it up so it looks like new. But that's going to do it for this project, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.